Well, 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 well. Look what the cat dragged in.
I know, all the
We're
way back
back.
from.
This is episode 17 of Going the JC Route. I'm JC. The crew is full again. Explain yourself.
Or
The
are you gonna cry?
Mormon version of Mecca. I was in Salt
Are
Lake
you gonna
City
cry?
for the past. Shut up! I was
Am
in
I?
Salt Lake City for the past month for
Hold on.
training. Don't want to go into too
Uh.
much detail yet. Don't want to go into. Hey, are you done there, Mini Mike? Can I speak?
Starting on hot.
Are you
You cried for an entire week when you were
are
there.
you crying?
Anyways,
Are you crying for how disappointing Arkansas sports is year in and year out?
Jesus.
Can I speak now? I
you have
thought
been
so.
pretty underwhelming
So,
for the past
I,
decade too.
Ooh.
I've seen a championship. Moving on, I was in Mormon land for the past month for training. I don't want to go into too much detail yet until it is done and done. But my next stop for the next 2 weeks is Atlanta, where the football team knows how to really choke. So, yeah, it's good to be back home. I've missed it, missed you guys, missed the fam, missed the house. So,
Gone for a
no,
month.
We're glad
yeah,
you're
but
back.
apparently the weather decided to follow me here from Utah.
Oh,
It
it's
couldn't have
miserable.
stayed there.
It's
I was
miserable.
driving today for a little bit, and it wasn't too bad. It's everyone else that doesn't know how to drive in this that terrifies me.
I'll tell you what, all my
That's
client
true.
meetings got canceled or moved yesterday and today. So I've been trying to fill time at work.
Mm-hmm.
But that's a lot of fun.
No,
I
it's
forget what
not.
to do. Sarcasm.
But
But I
let's-
did
let's-
get back.
What was that?
But I did get back in time to watch a little bit of the championship games. So we got Chiefs and those pigeons from Philly.
You know,
Nice.
I'm really torn.
You're torn on who you're rooting for.
No, it's the Chiefs. I can't root for the Eagles, but
Me neither.
I was torn in the NFC Championship game because primarily because what was I going to say? Well, one, the Eagles. Sorry, I lost my thought. So the Eagles, arch nemesis for the Cowboys.
Yep,
So I definitely don't like them.
of course.
However,
Yeah.
However, in the sense of historical magnitude, Cowboys have 5 Super Bowls. The 49ers have 5, I believe. The Eagles have 1. So
right.
as much as I do not want to see the Eagles celebrate a Super Bowl this year, we as Cowboys fans, unfortunately, can hold on to the fact that, hey, historically, we got you beat. If we had to stick through the 49ers winning that game and then going on to win the Super Bowl, not only will they historically have more Super Bowls than us now, they have ended their Super Bowl winning drought, which as it stands is a year longer than ours. So they can hold 2 things over our head, and in that aspect, I would find that way more annoying than having to deal with the Eagles in 1 year.
See, that's very valid. I just that fan base, I hope never sees happiness ever in my lifetime. So I was pulling for the 49ers. I think the Eagles are the luckiest team on the face of the earth to beat a team with their what? This was
Their
fourth
fifth
string?
quarterback, their 5th quarterback with Christian McCaffrey.
So it's like, what do you do with that? But I really hope the Chiefs. I really hope the Chiefs can.
I think I told you this. I mean, it's a fascinating game. I'm not gonna lie, because the Chiefs have a really good defense and really, really good offense. Patrick Mahomes is still on another level. Mm-hmm. I think Philadelphia is just so complete as a team. It's going to be hard to beat that. I mean, their offensive line is really, really, really good. Jalen Hurts hasn't been spectacular, but he's really, really good. Wide receivers are good. Defense for front seven still scares me. Their secondary, they're either all pro or Pro Bowlers. It's a really, really good team.
Yeah, it hurts.
Now they have a top 5 pick in the draft too.
I thought it was top 10.
It might be top 10, regardless.
Yeah, I thought they were number 10. They have 2
doesn't matter
number 1 picks going into next year in their Super Bowl team. It's unreal.
Despite the fact that they might be lucky in playing a 4-string quarterback, the fact is that they took care of business when it mattered, and regardless of, they may be much more complete, and they are more complete than the Chiefs. The Chiefs have a really good offense, but I think the Eagles can match that. But I'm not sure if the Eagles defense can stop the Chiefs. I don't know if the Chiefs defense can stop the Eagles offense, because you just have, the running backs are kind of underwhelming, but you still have a great running ability when you have Hurts back there. And then you have some very good weapons, not just Devontae Smith and
AJ Brown.
Or AJ Brown. You have Goddard, who can make plays as well. I mean, it's a much more complete than the Chiefs for sure. And the Chiefs' offense, I think, is going to have to be fantastic to beat them. And I've said this to people. I hate how much I love that Eagles team. They're a good team. Despite whatever you want to hate on them for, I mean, the offense is fantastic. The defense is fantastic. The front office is amazing. I'm not a fan of their head coach, but I mean, they do everything well. If you want to look for a team that does everything fairly well when it comes to building for a championship, that's the team that you look at. I mean, they've drafted well. They signed free agents very well, and they traded very well. I mean, some of the best free agent signings of the offseason are all Eagles. Most of them are Eagles. So, I hate the team, but I respect what they did, and the Chiefs are just going to have to be on top of everything for them to be able to beat.
I think the Chiefs' experience is their edge in this game over the Eagles. That's my thing. And Mahomes being Mahomes too.
Also, what kind of Mahomes are you getting? Are you getting a Mahomes that is moving and is able to make the crazy throws that he makes, or are you getting one that's going to be stagnant and can't really move?
I think he's going to have enough time to heal, from what I've heard. So last week he couldn't move super well, and look what he did to Cincy.
Yeah, but Cincy's defense, I don't think is as good as Philly.
It's not, but still. He was hurting for sure, but it didn't look terrible, if that makes sense.
Yeah, but 100, like you see, I mean, he was against the Jaguars and against anybody whenever he's healthy. I mean, he's moving, he's doing the dumbest throws you ever seen that are get completed. I mean, he's a nightmare for anybody when he's 100%. But I think it makes it a little bit easier for the Chiefs or for the Eagles. We just have a quarterback that stands there. I mean, I question a little bit their secondary for the Eagles, but their front seven is
if Mahomes can move. If Mahomes can move, it's going to be a very interesting game. If he
that's
can't
why.
move,
Yeah,
I
that's what I'm
think.
saying.
But I think also mentality too. I think is favoring the Chiefs, and that could be totally wrong. But I respect Andy Reid a lot more on a mentality level than I do Nick Sirianni. If that makes any sense.
I mean, we'll see. My hope is that the Chiefs beat him pretty badly, but I think that the Eagles can play with them, and I think that they could beat him pretty easily. JC?
Andy Reid has proven he can win a Super Bowl, which is nice.
Yes.
It helps. Sirianni seems like that kind of guy that's just like he's a football guy. Like that's fair, but he seems like a frat bro that's kind of annoying. That being said, the Eagles kind of have that feel to them this year. You know what I'm talking about? Like it seems like every year there's a team that is just like they feel like they're gonna win.
Yeah.
Kind of like the Rams did. They just like you felt like they were gonna win.
If this does keep going in MLS this year, the Philadelphia Union lost in baseball. Unfortunately, the Philadelphia Phillies in the World Series.
The same day.
Lost. Yeah, on the same day. There is a saying. Things happen.
The day we left Philly too.
Yeah. Yep. And there is a saying. Things happen in threes. There is a saying.
Also saying third time's the charm.
That's true. I prefer to think of it things happening. So I'm
at this moment, JC, who do you think has an edge?
Philly.
Of course.
Yeah. I mean,
at this point,
like I said, I think they're.
At this point, I'm not picking against Philly.
It's hard not to. I mean, I feel like it's kind of the.
Like, I honestly don't even care if Patrick Mahomes is healthy or not. He will be, by the way. Like, he showed this week he's fine. It doesn't matter. Like, the Eagles.
Well, I just think that. I think in order to beat them, you have to be great offensively, which they definitely have the chance to. But if you have hiccups from the Chiefs offensively, I just think that they're not as good defensively to be able to stop that offense.
Well, that's the thing, right? Like, the 49ers have the number one defense in the league, and the Eagles showed they can beat them handily. Doesn't help when you've got no offense from the 49ers side, but that's besides the point, right? Like, the Eagles showed on offense they can handle the number one defense. Chiefs don't have number one defense. They're up there. They have really good defense. They're not number one defense. And so what I feel like it's going to come down to is, can the Chiefs offense put up enough points against the Eagles defense to keep them in the game?
And then I think the other thing to me, I think the other key, the Chiefs have to force turnovers. I don't, if you don't allow turnovers, you make them, because Jalen Hurts is going to hurt you. I don't think they're going to be able to get to him, but you have to force him into uncomfortable positions and make uneducated plays. Make him throw it into double coverage or uneducated plays.
What is that, like backyard football?
Just kind of like just you're running and you're like, oh, this. You just kind of don't think about it. And you just throw it into somewhere and it gets picked off or whatever.
Whenever somebody says
what if there's an app for that?
Whenever somebody says like stupid football plays, I think of the longest yard scene where
schoolyard bullshit.
Backyard bullshit. Yeah.
It's time for schoolyard bullshit.
Yeah, it's just some schoolyard bullshit.
That is a key. You have to force turnovers because they're not good enough to just be able to go toe to toe with them and just force stops. I don't think.
So what are you thinking? Eagles, Chiefs. I already told you I'm on the Eagles.
I'm picking Eagles. I'm not picking a score. I'll wait until next Tuesday.
Yeah. Okay.
I'm saying screw both of y'all. Chiefs all the way. Mahomes. Because he's Mahomes. And
you're sticking with Patrick Mahomes?
Of course. And that duo between him and Kelsey, that doesn't get better. I don't care. Dallas Goedert. Kelsey's better.
Okay,
No cap.
That was the argument. Nobody's argued that.
Oh, I know.
We never argued that.
I know that.
He is better.
I'm checking. There's a thing on Twitter right now about with some Eagles fans, Goddard over Kelsey. I'm like, you people are.
You're delusional. Sorry, buddy.
Some good drugs.
Dang,
Right.
good drugs sound good. But I mean, we've got one football game left in the season until we have to go. What is it? 8 months?
Well, we will have the draft.
I mean,
we will have the draft.
the XFL and USFL are coming on in about a month.
Ask me if
Hey, that's football.
Ask me if
I know.
That's football.
I know.
It's football.
I know Ryan is super happy. I was like, hey, we only have. I told her this on Championship Sunday. I was like, we only have technically 3 more games, one of which is going on right now. She goes, woohoo! And I was like, then we got college basketball, and then hockey, and then we got baseball coming.
Hey, just to tick her off, take her to an XFL game.
Hey, I tell you what.
Or a USFL game.
Yeah. Hey, our next date is going to be we're going to go to an XFL game. Right? Our next date we're going to go, since NFL's ending, we're going to go see the XFL instead, because that's during the off season.
It starts in like a week, right? Or 2 weeks?
It starts in
Yeah.
Basically, the
pretty
XFL, a very dumbed down version of the NFL, more football, basically.
Think if like
Hold on.
the WWE was football.
Think if
Pretty
World Wrestling Entertainment. There we go. WWE. Think if that was football.
Although it's
Yeah,
not
that's
as
basically what it is.
it's not as intense, but yeah, it's pretty.
That's why it's not real. It's not real wrestling. It's WWE. It's not real football. It's the XFL.
It's really not real football.
It's
Anyway.
fun though. It'll be fun though. I love my boy Bobby Stoops.
Yeah.
I also think the San Antonio team is going to be really interesting with Hines Ward as their coach.
Speaking of coaching changes,
So when the football season ends, we're going to continue talking about the XFL, right? Because this has been mostly a football thing.
Hell no, I couldn't
I'm not
care
talking-
less.
Whoa.
I couldn't care about that.
Unless our team, the Renegades, wins it all.
A Dallas team will finally win it.
Except it's not the Dallas Renegades anymore. It's the Arlington Renegades.
Oh, the Arlington Renegades. That's why they'll win, because they don't have Dallas attached to their name.
As a side note, before we talk about the Cowboys and their coaching changes, have you guys seen the commotion the Dallas mayor has been doing on Twitter?
No.
He has
Johnson?
been big complaining about how it's like the Texas Rangers and it's the Dallas Cowboys, but they're not located in Dallas. He has been upset about it.
So, what's his solution?
Oh fuck, I don't know.
What's he talking
know,
about? Moving the team to downtown?
Maybe they should build a stadium in Irving or something like that.
Well, I mean, you better be careful because if he's not careful, Mark Cuban's going to move him out of Dallas. Move the Mavericks out of Dallas.
I mean,
Is that a thing?
that's basically.
I mean, it's been brought up.
Like
He's been talking about how he wants to
Yeah,
move to the arena.
I don't hate the area. Like, I think it's a not decent area. It's like right between two.
Dude, it's so different from how it used to be. Like, there used to be nothing around it, and now it's just parking garages and apartments everywhere.
I know you could go driving by you could see it. Now you just is it even there?
Yeah, exactly.
There was talk about them taking down the Miller Lite waterfall sign, and I was like, oh hell no!
The Miller are cool.
Yeah, that was.
It's Miller right now.
Okay.
They can't take that down. That's a Dallas staple.
Facts.
Yeah,
But-
it's a landmark.
So, fellas,
I'll tell you what.
Okay.
I thought it was the funniest thing how the day after Kellen Moore was released, he signs with the Chargers.
Is that actually where he is?
Yeah.
I did not see that.
Yes, he's their OC now. Like, it was announced Sunday that he's not being renewed, and Monday he signs with the Chargers.
Yeah, I saw that. Thought it was fishy for a second. I mean, but at the same time, I kind of don't care. It's the same way I was.
I absolutely don't care. I just thought it was really interesting.
Yeah,
He's a hot commodity.
Like the day of.
He's a hot commodity right now. It's just not working out in Dallas.
Yeah.
I didn't think he was terrible.
Like I said,
I just wanted to see more consistency.
That was his biggest problem, and that he wasn't consistent at all, game after game with his play calling.
Well, here's the thing.
He's still a young offensive coordinator.
100%. And he's still going to a team. He's going to a team that has 2 good wide receivers, a good young quarterback, and a really good running back.
A good quarterback.
I mean, he's got Justin Herbert, he's got Mike Williams, Austin Eckler, and Keenan Allen. They're good on offense. And their offensive line is getting better. Their problem is that team as a whole is not consistent.
No.
They're great at blowing leads.
I saw a meme when they I think I sent it to y'all when they actually blew a lead. They changed the Falcons logo, the Chargers logo, color scheme.
Yeah. Well,
but
here's the thing: you should know that franchise is a joke. Like when it was I forgot when it was. It was years ago. But the Chargers had the number 1 offense in the league and the number 1 defense in the league, and they missed the playoffs.
Was that with LT?
It might. I think it was.
It was with Schottenheimer. It was during LaDainian Tomlinson's career, and I think Marty Schottenheimer was the head coach, and they were pretty dang good, and didn't make the playoffs.
So it was 2010. San Diego.
That
head coach was Norv Turner.
Oh, never mind. Was LT on the team?
Yes.
They went 9-7 and missed the playoffs with the number 1 each. Holy hell!
They are really good at because last year they were pretty consistent with getting up and then losing it. I mean, they basically are the Falcons.
Well, they're up what 30 or 27-0 on the Jaguars and lost.
Yeah.
Woof.
I mean,
Joey Bosa was not happy.
Did you see that video of him yelling at some Eagles fans this weekend?
I'm rich.
I'm rich. Exactly.
That's something you would say, Aiden.
No, mine would be, why are you looking at my 20? Look at the car I drive.
Daddy's money.
Although not now. My first 2 paychecks almost came out to $6,000.
Dang. Living life.
Maybe not.
You going to the strip club? What does Ryan think about that?
Shh. I have my headphones in.
She doesn't need to know.
No, she doesn't need to know. Nothing at all. You look
all right, so
really
all right, moving on.
Oh my God, he's sucking it up.
Yeah, he is.
Who, ideally, if you could choose who you would pick to be the Cowboys' new offensive coordinator, who would it be?
Who is around right now?
I know a name that's been thrown out is Eric Bieniemy.
Okay, I like that better than.
That.
I
wanted him the last 3 years to get a head coaching job, and he hasn't. But if we could snag him from Kansas City, that'd be a win.
I've also heard Joe Judge.
I don't want Joe Judge.
I've heard Marty Schottenheimer's son. I can't remember his name.
Where did Judge go after New York?
I can't remember, but I remember hearing his name a couple times. I don't know if I want Joe.
That just seems
like,
boring.
It does. I don't feel like I want somebody like that to be here, because we already had boring for like 10 years. Joe Judge. He's the offensive assistant at New England.
Brian Schottenheimer was his name, Chris.
Brian.
Okay, thank you. It says he's the offensive. He's with New England right now. It says.
So he went back to New England. Okay.
So here
they
is a list.
They weren't great.
Here are the top candidates right now: Brian Schottenheimer, Zach Robinson, who last season was the QB coach for the Los Angeles Rams.
Okay.
Bobby Slowick.
Leftwich.
Bobby Slowick, San Francisco 49ers passing game coordinator. Scott Turner, Washington Commanders offensive coordinator. Brian Johnson, Philadelphia Eagles quarterback coach. Ben McAdoo.
That's the one. That's the one. I don't think it was Judge.
Ben McAdoo, that's the other one.
You know, none of the
And of
names
course-
are really like.
I've also heard the idea of Mike McCarthy taking over as the offense.
That would make
No.
us worse.
That would make everything worse.
I think that's what he wants to do, but that would make us worse. We're already bad at time management. That would make it even worse.
Yeah. I mean, he did a much better job as a coach, but I think him taking over the offense would be too much.
Honestly, I think Eric Bieniemy would be the home run. None of these other names really excite me. Unless there's another name like in the college ranks that could come up and do it. Cliff Kingsbury.
No.
Petrino. No. Petrino.
No.
Sark.
He's with A&M.
Sark. No, like imagine Cliff Kingsbury came to the Cowboys just as the offensive coordinator. He won't do it, but imagine.
Would you want that?
If he was just calling plays, I think that'd be really fun.
We also need an OC that can help Dak some way, somehow get better.
Well, that's the thing is he's always been quarterback friendly, right?
Yeah, that's true.
And he knows how to call plays and call an offense. He's not a good team manager.
No.
As a head coach.
No, clearly.
But he can call plays. Like I heard there was rumors of Bama wanting Cliff Kingsbury. That would be a nightmare as their OC. But I mean, as the Cowboys, I think that would be a lot of fun.
Yeah, I mean it could.
Let's say if we're gonna become a clown show, that'd only add to it. Coach Bro.
Yeah, I'm trying to think of other guys in college. Can't think of anybody. I can't think of anybody in the NFL either, besides the ones that were mentioned. But I mean, I guess Bieniemy would be the number one.
And he's number one on my list.
How likely would that be?
Not very. Because at the very least, you
it's
wouldn't hear anything until after the Super Bowl anyway.
Apparently.
That's true. And that's if he wants to even leave.
Thing is,
He's not
because
giving
his
a
name
heck.
has been rumored around different positions so much. Now, given those are primarily head coaching jobs, it wouldn't I feel like he would leave to the right situation. I just don't know if he'd leave as a lateral move.
Yeah.
Unless
why would you? Why would you whenever you have a great thing going on in Kansas City?
One of the best quarterbacks in the league, one of the best tight ends in the league, solid offensive line.
Why would you
I wouldn't necessarily argue the offensive line thing. Like we have a solid offensive line.
But their receiving core, I think, is even better than ours. Minus maybe CeeDee Lamb.
Who is their receiving core right now?
Juju.
Well, I mean, they're
Other than Juju, though. Let's be honest.
Kelsey.
Montez Valdez-Scantling.
Okay. Yeah. Okay.
That's just a fun name to say. Just imagine.
I'd say on a good day, Juju's comparable to Michael Gallup. Who do they have that's comparable to CeeDee Lamb?
Not really anybody. They used to.
They used to, absolutely.
But I guess you don't really need one whenever you have a quarterback like.
Whenever you have
they've got a couple of good running backs, Jerick McKinnon, Isaiah Pacheco, stuff like that. But I'm like,
oh yeah.
Do they have superstars at wide receiver? Hell no.
No,
Juju's just gonna go do a TikTok dance somewhere.
No kidding.
Renegade. Yeah.
So I mean, as a whole, I don't know. I don't know why you would leave, but is it a possibility? Sure, it'd be really fun.
I think it's a conversation. We need to talk about this after something happens. For us, where we're not really plugged in very much, and we're all kind of working and not as plugged in as we probably could be. I don't have any insider information to give you, other than what I've seen in some people talking in Twitter and stuff like that. So, more of something to break down. I just know. But we're still sad. The Cowboys have failed us again. Let's go Stars. Because apparently the
Mavs go Stars.
To save that for my rant for the end of the show, but I thought of something better. Speaking of the Stars, can they freaking win a game before it goes to overtime, please?
No.
I would rather get that point than losing.
Bro, it blows my mind that I would keep up with it a little bit, just like the final score of each game while I was up in Utah. The Stars are really good this year, man.
They're in first place.
Yep, first place in the West.
While we're ranting on DFW teams, can the Mavericks actually make a trade before Luka decides he wants to leave? I feel worth anything.
And I wanted to touch on that too.
Or sign a free agent. I do not care about trades. I want to sign a free agent.
I'm glad you brought that up. Is Mark Cuban the new Jerry Jones?
He's about to be, but I've also heard that he's what was it? There was a crypto thing that he's getting sued for.
Of course he is.
Might be a reason for him not making trades. But yeah, I mean he's getting pretty close. I mean it's very weird whenever you have a place like Dallas that's very friendly to people and you can't get big time free agents to want to come here. The Rangers have done it.
It took forever, but they did.
It took.
They've done it, but
more than anything, how did the Rangers get the free agents here? There's one answer.
Not doing anything for a decade.
They money whipped them.
They did do that.
Everybody that came here, they're paying ass loads of money.
Yep,
that's fair. That's true. And also, there's no cap.
There's no cap.
Income tax. Yes. So not only are they getting paid a lot, they're actually getting paid more.
Yep. That's
but
true.
like you would think that somebody, maybe not a high level star, but somebody competent would want to come play here.
I saw a mock trade on Twitter yesterday, and it was Tim Hardaway, Dorian Finney-Smith, and I think a second-round pick for D'Angelo Russell. Thoughts?
No. It's too much.
Honestly, I don't even care about trades. Because that means that you're moving a guy that's just going to a team that he's like, okay, sure, why not? I want to see a free agent come here. I don't care about guys being moved. I want to see somebody that's like, I want to go play with him, and he comes and plays with him.
I mean, that's fine, but that doesn't help us this season.
No, it doesn't.
We're talking about a move they can make by the trade deadline.
I think your biggest need is somebody who can play down low and grab rebounds, and and maybe a shooter, but like. But then you run the cost of losing, like, I mean, like, you know, they've been very consistent, and some of them have been. There should be some tradable pieces, but I feel like you trade away the piece that you don't want, but you might also have to put in a piece that you don't want to see leave. Maybe like a Dorian Finney-Smith, or a Josh Green or something like that, and it could cost you.
But I mean, the team's already come out this week and said they're willing to trade anybody but Luka for a star.
I'm sure.
So
I could see that.
We'll see how that goes.
Hopefully it doesn't hurt them.
I'll tell you what though. We'll see how that goes. We've got time for all that stuff. I've got a topic I want to talk about because it's fresh in my mind and it's a little bit more fun. We've got to talk about the Big 12 and their schedule. College football, it's January, last day of January. But we're talking about 2023 season already because, and only because, the Big 12 has finally, thank God, released their schedule for next season. Only took forever. Months late.
And here it is. What is it?
Yeah, let me pull it up. Obviously, I want to talk about Oklahoma's schedule. But more than anything, it's good to see new teams on the schedule.
It is.
Because it's just something new. And Oklahoma gets to go play some new teams this year that we haven't played either ever or in a long time.
Before you have to go do it again in a couple of years.
Yeah. Probably next year, if I'm being honest.
Yeah, it'll probably be next year.
Fingers crossed, hoping.
At least, what's the latest? Like 2 years from now?
After the 2025. No, I believe it's summer 20. No.
James, can we talk? Speaking of the Big 12, I'd like to point out the fact that both quarterbacks in the Super Bowl graduated from Big 12 schools.
Yeah. Here's the thing. And I'm going to come back before we talk about this to be very, very direct. Okay. I've got a question for you guys, and I want your honest opinion. Mm-hmm. Because I've been seeing this argument float around the last couple days. And it's two different situations. One seems a little bit more respectable than the other.
Okay.
I'm going to start with this one because it's the obvious one. Can Alabama fans claim Jalen Hurts?
No.
Why?
Yes.
He didn't finish there.
Ooh,
So
I like controversy. Let's go.
No, he didn't finish.
Yeah.
He didn't finish his tenure.
What did he play like 3 years there? Went to a national championship with
He
him?
was 25-2 as a starter on 3 national championship game teams. However, he was benched as a starter.
Yes.
Twice, probably.
I mean, he wasn't going to win that job back after Tua took over.
Mm-hmm.
So, like,
he left and developed as a quarterback at Oklahoma and turned into what he is today. So, with this one, the argument is, well, I see both sides of it because, well, one, he played a lot of games at Bama, more games at Alabama than Oklahoma. He's got an Alabama degree.
That's the thing, isn't it?
Mm-hmm. However, he did not finish there. And if he had not gone to Oklahoma, he would have been 7th round draft pick, undrafted.
At best.
Maybe not even in the league. Offensive analyst at Bama right now. Something like that. But because he went to Oklahoma, finished at Oklahoma, got a degree from Oklahoma, now he was a 2nd round pick in the league and in the conversation for MVP.
Generally, whenever you talk about somebody who has been at a place for 3 years and then transferred somewhere else, you're not talking about somebody, for the most part, who wasn't a big-time contributor for that team. But whenever Tua took over, the national championship game, and they won that. I mean, he was going to win that job, and it was not going to be his. So I think in a day and age where everybody transfers for no reason at all, they don't get enough playing time or whatever. I mean, he made a great decision to go and play in Oklahoma and probably save his career as a football player. But for me, I like, you just look at how many years he's played at Alabama. I think that just overshadows the 1 year that he had. Was it 1 year at Oklahoma?
1 year at Oklahoma. 1 year.
James, to me, it's simpler. Where'd you finish your career? So I'm going to say that, and Bama fans were quick to turn on Jalen when Tua came in. So I'm a say no, they cannot claim him because he did not finish there, and they were all hype on Tua. So
I like either way. Like I claim him as an Oklahoma guy because he finished in Oklahoma and took us to a playoff.
Mm-hmm.
I don't really care what Bama fans do. I do think there's some validity to both sides. Like, dude played a ton of, like I said, dude played a ton of football. Bama has a degree from Bama. The guy himself even claims Bama. But like I said, they benched him. He left. Fans turned on him when he left, even though they say they didn't. Okay. But the situation I wanted to compare it to is Joe Burrow in Ohio State. Discuss.
Yeah, Ohio State cannot claim Joe Burrow.
Well, so here the situation's different, right? Because
it's sure.
Joe Burrow has a degree from Ohio State. He was there for 3 years.
Yeah.
He didn't play any meaningful downs at Ohio State.
No.
Nobody's going to remember him as an Ohio State quarterback besides the delusional Ohio State fans. That's where you think of Joe Burrow, you think of LSU.
Mm-hmm.
And that's kind of where I'm on it. Because if you think Jalen Hurts, for the most part, you think Alabama.
Right.
Yeah. That's where I'm at too. Like both of them played more like, obviously Jalen Hurts played meaningful snaps at Oklahoma, but he played more meaningful snaps at Alabama. And Burrow, like you said, he won a national championship. He engineered probably one of the greatest offenses I've ever seen. Had one of the greatest offenses I've ever seen, and he won a national championship with them. So, yeah, I think the Hurts one is debatable between Oklahoma and Alabama. I think he's an Alabama guy. I think there's no debate with Burrow. I mean, that's the guy from LSU. It's on, whenever he goes out for senior night wearing Burrow the way they spell it, he's an LSU guy. He won a national championship there, and that's what he's gonna be linked to for the rest of his life. So,
All right, understood. Back on track. Big 12. What of this schedule interests you?
Red River.
Obviously.
Okay, besides that one.
Are you guys going to score a touchdown this year?
Yeah, are you guys going to win this year?
Yes.
Right.
Oh, yeah. I have zero doubt, even right now, that Texas, again, is keeping the hat. The hat's going to stay at home where it belongs. That is my way too early pick. Injuries aside, James.
I'd say the one that kind of interests me a little bit is Texas playing Alabama in Tuscaloosa.
I do too.
That.
I think that was interesting, James. And again, because I have to mention my alma mater, the Southern Methodist University Mustangs, going to Norman. That interests me. Have to speak about them.
I'll tell you what. I really want to go to that game. I really want to go to that game, but I also really hope it's at night.
If I can get off for that game, like take off of work and get off of work, then yeah, definitely.
I just hope it's a night game because 11 a.m. in September sounds miserable to me.
It'll be hot.
Yeah. Couple things I've noticed that, first thing, there's really, looking through it, it doesn't seem like any one team either got let off really easily, but it also doesn't really look like any one team got really screwed. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Every schedule has its little stretch, I guess.
I mean, a couple things I noticed. Cincinnati got to avoid Texas and TCU this year, and Texas Tech. Cincinnati. They got to avoid Texas Tech, and TCU, and they get Oklahoma in Cincinnati. Is what it is. TCU.
No. Oh, you're right. It is in Cincinnati. I'm sorry, I read the schedule wrong.
Yeah. TCU's last 6 weeks is miserable.
They've got
2 K-State, a bye, 2 Texas Tech on a Thursday, Texas at home, Baylor at home, in Norman on Black Friday.
Rip.
That's a pain in the butt.
Like you said, Oklahoma State doesn't
TCU,
play Texas State.
TCU is not going to be anywhere near as good as they were last year. I hope they enjoyed. I hope they enjoyed their 5 seconds of fame. Now they get to come back down to earth.
I will say Baylor got nice. They've got 8 home games next year.
My gosh.
It helps when all 3 of your non-conference games are at home, but still.
Yeah,
Who is
they play Utah.
Then they got Utah. Then who's the other team?
Texas State, Utah, and I can look it up.
The hell is that?
So they had to go to Florida. They had to play Cincinnati.
It would be.
Kansas State, and
let's see. LIU.
The heck is that?
Long Island.
Long Island. And who is OSU playing? Who is OSU playing week 3?
What the hell is
Week 3,
that?
that's South Alabama. Week 3 is South Alabama.
That's South Alabama.
Oh, yeah. TCU plays Colorado. That'll be very.
Long Island University. Sick.
I told you.
Who are you talking about? Oklahoma State?
TCU plays Colorado.
Who is that week 3?
South
Alabama.
Oh yeah, they do play Colorado.
That's interesting to me because
Deion Sanders.
We're about to see if
go see Deion week 1. That'll be fun.
And who does TCU play week 2?
Nickel State.
Country football.
Is Nebraska on here anywhere? No. Damn it.
There's honestly not too many marquee non-conference games. I mean, you've got
Texas has to go to Houston.
You got Texas, Alabama, obviously. Baylor, Utah will be fun, and honestly, BYU, Arkansas will be fun. Sorry, but we saw it was fun this year. Let me see.
I'll probably go to that game.
Why would you go to that? You're going to be disappointed. Like
Iowa State.
I'm going to be disappointed. We beat them by like 15 last time.
Here's one for the sickos.
Because it's Arkansas.
Illinois goes to Kansas.
Illinois goes to Kansas.
That's a sickos game. But I'll tell you what. Yes, Texas does go to Houston. No matter how long it took the schedule to come out, we knew that game was going to happen. There was no way the Big 12 was going to let that not happen. Texas was always going to go to Houston. Period. Also,
and we got Wyoming.
Oh, twice.
So is Texas Tech. No, so is Texas Tech.
Wyoming's big balling this year. What the hell?
Yeah, they are.
They're trying to beat Kent State like last year.
West Virginia plays Penn State week 1, and then they had backyard brawl week 3.
And then they get Duquesne sandwiched in the middle. Okay.
I mean, they'll be what, 1 and 2? They'll be 1 and
I'll tell you what. All things considered, I don't think Oklahoma's schedule is pretty light, if I'm being honest.
Yeah.
Arkansas State is what it is. Tulsa, it is what it is. SMU is going to be interesting because they had so many transfers come in.
Yep.
At Cincinnati for the first conference game of the year will definitely be interesting. But we got Iowa State and Norman. Texas is Texas. We got UCF and Norman. We have to go to Lawrence and to Stillwater. Those two games are actually going to be really annoying. Because Jalen Daniels is arguably one of the best, if not the best quarterback in the Big 12 this year.
So
He might be the most proven, at least. Because Dylan Gabriel's up there. What's his face? Quinn Ewers is up there. But Dylan Gabriel was inconsistent last year, so was Quinn Ewers. And Jalen Daniels was just absolutely dynamic last year. Super, super scary. I don't know what the hell Oklahoma State's going to look like. I don't. They've had such a mass exodus. It is what it is. West Virginia and Norman, that's pretty good. But the last 2 weeks annoy the hell out of me.
That is pretty good.
Because
is that the toughest stretch to you?
What?
What's the toughest stretch? What do you is the toughest stretch for Oklahoma in that past schedule?
Say that again?
What is the toughest stretch for Oklahoma during that next season?
So I honestly think it's the last. Well, I don't think anything's particularly easy. I think the worst 2 games is probably in Provo in November, and then TCU at home at the end of the year on a short week.
Oh yeah.
At Kansas, at Oklahoma State's never going to be fun. Back to back. And then honestly, I think to start conference play, at Cincinnati, Iowa State at home, and then Texas, that's one of those stretches where it's like nothing's exceedingly standing out, but it's not easy. It's not fun.
Like it's not an overly over the top schedule, but it's a schedule. It's enough of a schedule to make you sigh or take a deep breath or whatever.
For sure. I mean, honestly, the hardest schedule in the Big 12 this year is.
I would say Texas Tech.
Let's see.
I don't know. West Virginia's doesn't.
UT kind of has a hard schedule in the beginning.
Yeah. Okay.
Go through your schedule now. Actually.
So Texas
we got Rice at home. Then we go to Alabama, who everyone's new, but the best recruiting class in their history.
They're keep in mind, Alabama's breaking in a new OC, a new DC, and a new quarterback.
Yeah.
And they're losing Will Anderson.
Mm-hmm.
He didn't do a whole lot this past year, but still, they are losing Will Anderson.
Well, I mean, he was still All-American. It was just hard to keep up with what he did the year before.
Sure. So yeah, they're losing Will Anderson, new OC, new DC, new starting quarterback. They still have Nick Saban.
Wyoming at home is met.
Wyoming at home. Then we start conference play at Baylor. Then we're at home against Kansas, who we beat last year, thank God. And yeah. Then we got Red River, which Red River is Red River.
So
then
hold on. First half of the season, because you and I are in the same spot, right? 6 games by 6 games. Going into the bye, what do you think the record is?
James, say again. You cut out.
So Texas is.
Wait, start over. You cut out.
So Texas's schedule is similar to Oklahoma's in the sense that it's 6 games a bye, then 6 games, right? Mm-hmm. Going into the bye, what do you think Texas's record is?
Oh, let's see. Best chance, I think 5-1. Worst case, I would say 2-4.
Beat Rice and Wyoming, and then lose the other games,
Yeah.
or beat
See,
everybody else but Bama.
So for me, I feel like Oklahoma's best case is 5-1. Likely lost to Texas, but it wouldn't surprise me if we lost to Iowa State or Cincinnati. It wouldn't. Worst case, probably 3-3. Yeah. Yeah, I don't think we'll start conference 0-3. I just don't, but it could happen.
How tricky would that SMU game be, or is it going to be tricky at all?
SMU had a lot of transfers come in this year.
That's why. That's what's making it more tricky than anything is because they got such a talent infusion this year. That's what makes it like
and Preston Stone.
Yeah, what the hell happened? Tanner Mordecai transferred out.
Mordecai had a great year last year, and this year he had a very down year. And Preston Stone, when he was given a chance to go in, looked really, really, really good. Like we all
That's
knew
a
he was
great
going to
name,
be.
by the way.
Preston Stone, the 5-star from Dallas.
Preston Stone.
No, literally. So
yeah,
he lost his job.
That's what I'm saying. I think SMU could be legitimately tricky. I like that it's in Norman though. That helps. I was supposed to say I think best case is 5-1, worst case 3-3. I think I'm in the same boat for Texas, kind of. I think best case is probably 5-1. They'll either lose to Bama or Texas. I mean Bama or OU. Sorry. At least one or the other. Worst case, I honestly think worst case is probably 4-2
for UT.
Yeah, they should because they should beat Baylor and they should.
Right.
They should. I mean, going into next year, Texas is going to be the favorite.
Oh, you're talking about just for what? Favorite
in the Big 12. In the Big 12, Texas is going to be the favorite going into next year.
I mean, Texas also had good transfer portal too.
I will say, the back half of Texas's schedule isn't as nice.
No, it's not.
It's not.
I'm just happy we got Tech at home this year.
You've got at Houston, BYU, K-State, at TCU, in Ames, and Texas Tech in Austin.
Yeah, the back half isn't great. I'm hoping experience-wise and gameplay-wise, playing teams like Bama, and of course OU, towards the beginning.
Yeah,
plays a little bit in our favor, but we'll see. I do like the addition of Mitchell to add to our wide receiving core. If he can stay healthy, I need to be thanking Chris. If he can stay healthy. Catalan, yeah, thank you, Chris. Thank you, Chris.
I will say, at Houston, if there was a game that Texas loses because of officials, it's Texas at Houston.
You think?
Oh yeah, that or at TCU, one of the two, or at Ames. Those three games are not fun.
No.
BYU is BYU because it's in Austin. K-State is never fun to play, especially since it's late in the season. That's not going to be a fun game, and then it's better.
That was a fun game last year. Texas versus K-State
in Manhattan.
That was a fun one.
Y'all want to give predictions for
early predictions?
Yeah, predictions for for the records, or do y'all want to wait a little bit?
I'll wait. I'm gonna wait a little.
I'll do an early prediction. I don't care.
All right, what you got?
If gun to my head, keep in mind it's January 31st.
You want to do best case scenario, worst case scenario, or you just want to do outright?
I'm gonna give you. I'll give you my initial schedule, our initial record prediction, and I'll do best case and worst case as we get closer to the season.
Okay.
I'm gonna go through it. We'll beat Arkansas State. We'll beat SMU.
Yeah.
We'll beat Tulsa.
Okay. Yep.
3-0.
Yep.
We'll beat Cincinnati. 4-0. Iowa State in Norman. We'll beat them. 5-0. We'll lose to Texas and Dallas. So we'll go into the bye 5-1.
Why you lose to Texas and Dallas, though? I want to hear why you think you're going to lose.
Initial reasoning. Again, it's January, right? We're 7 months away.
Season just ended.
Texas is the most talented team in the Big 12.
Sure.
They've got one of the most. What was I say? They've got the most talent, and they're bringing back their quarterback second year in a system. That's going to get better, and they've got probably the best offense in the Big 12. Oklahoma, we came off a losing season for the first time since 1998, and we brought in a ton of talent in the portal, like a ton. So our roster is going to look a lot different this year. I'm just not sure what that's going to translate into looking like in October.
Sure.
So because of my lack of knowledge and lack of foresight as to what it's going to see, I'm going to give Texas the benefit of a doubt in January.
Okay.
So we're 5-1 going into the bye. Dylan Gabriel will beat UCF in Norman. We're going to lose to Kansas in Lawrence, as much as it pains me.
6-2.
We'll beat up on Little Brother in Stillwater.
7-2.
We'll beat West Virginia. We'll lose to BYU in Provo. And we'll beat TCU on Black Friday. So 9-3.
Yeah, I get the feeling with this short week, like with BYU and TCU, I do get the feeling that you'll lose one of those games just based off of how the short week. But
yeah, and so that's why my initial thought is we'll lose BYU, because even though it's a short week going into TCU, that'll refocus us going into
TCU.
I can see it the other way also. We could beat BYU in Provo and then lose to TCU on a short week. I have no idea what TCU is going to look like this year. I don't. But
so you're saying 9-3?
9-3 with 3 conference losses. That probably keeps us out of the Big 12 championship game. So it is what it is. However, that being said, I would love to see OU and Texas in the Big 12 championship game in our final year. I think that would be hilarious.
Oh, that would be
hilarious.
Fantastic, and then you could just throw away the championship. Anyways,
do you want my unbiased Texas prediction as well?
Sure.
I would love to hear your unbiased Texas prediction, because it'll probably agree with mine. So
you'll beat Rice.
Okay.
Of course.
I'm
really, really torn on the Bama.
That's honestly, the one I'm really torn about too. I honestly think, James, we'll do this together. So we'll beat Rice. I unbiased, I think it's going to be a week 2 upset. We're going to march into Tuscaloosa and beat up on Dixie.
You know what? I'll give you the benefit of the doubt.
Okay.
You'll beat Bama.
And
2-0.
the only reason why we beat Bama this year is because it's a new quarterback, new system, and it's new OC, new DC. It's week 2. We have a ton of talent this year.
You'll beat Wyoming.
Defense got better. We'll beat Wyoming. Yeah.
Here's where it gets interesting. You're gonna lose to Baylor and Waco.
You think so?
Yes.
In one.
Outside of Houston, this is gonna be one of those games where you could get screwed over by the referees.
Okay.
And you know that crowd's going to be absolutely obnoxious.
Of course.
You'll beat Lawrence in Austin, and you'll beat OU. So you're 5-1 going into the bye.
Okay.
Just like OU.
Okay.
You're going to come out and lose to Houston in Houston.
Okay. So 5-2.
You'll beat BYU. You'll beat BYU,
Okay.
and you'll lose to K-State.
We'll lose to K-State when we're at home?
Yes. The Purple Overlords will show their power once again.
But we beat them.
We can do this
last year.
We can.
Wait a
It's
minute.
early
Wait a minute,
prediction.
Wait, what?
Wait a minute. I lied.
think he-
Never mind. I forgot. No Adrian Martinez. No
I think-
Deshaun. You're beating. Never mind.
Yeah, we're beating Kansas State.
Okay.
Okay, so we agree.
So you're 5-2, 6-2, 7-2. You'll beat TCU in Austin. No, in Fort Worth.
Yeah, we're in Fort Worth this year.
You'll beat TCU in Fort Worth. You're gonna lose to Iowa State names,
Okay.
and you'll beat Texas Tech at home. So what is that? 10-2.
Yeah, that's 10-2.
Nine-
That's the
9-3.
first-
That's 9-3. Sorry.
See, I think, James, honestly, the only one I disagree with is Houston. I think we're going to beat Houston. And I'm putting us at 10-2.
That's just one of the, Houston to me is one of those games where the conference wanted it to happen, and it happened, and that crowd is going to be obnoxious. They're going to want to beat the shit out of Texas. And even though it's after a bye and Texas is going to have 2 weeks to prepare for it, the history behind Texas shows me they're going to come out flat.
Oh yeah, yeah.
And if they come out flat in that environment, they will lose that game.
I'm going to say, and this is really optimistic. I think you're probably right. I think best case is 10-2. Worst case, I think 7-5.
If Texas goes 7-5 this year, is Sarkisian out?
I don't think so.
How long has he been there?
This is going to be his third year.
Oh,
I think
he may not be out, but
I think it is.
He may not be out, but he's definitely be on the hot seat. But
I think he's
3
out.
years is
Because hear me out. He went 5-7 year one. One thing we talked about, and I know I talked about going into this past season, was we need to see improvement. We need to see steady improvement. Well, he went from 5-7 to 8-5. That's good improvement in my book, right? That's stable progress. I think this year we need to see 9-3, 10-2 to say, hey, we're building something. We can see what's going on, right? If you regress to 7-5 in a down Big 12 year, what the hell are you doing?
Agreed.
Like I said, Texas is going to be the favorite going into Big 12 this year. They're most talented. They're returning the most talent, stuff like that, right? Like we don't know what the hell Baylor's going to do. They came off a 6-6 season. You got all the newbies. Iowa State, if you're backing Hunter Deckers, you can shut up. Jalen Daniels in Kansas should be good. K-State, no more Deuce Vaughn, no more Adrian Martinez. OU's returning a bunch of people, so we'll probably take a step forward. It's hard. We're not getting worse than 6-7. We're not. That's just a fact. We'll take a step forward. Oklahoma State's a dumpster fire. TCU's going to be a team. Texas is Texas. Texas Tech will probably be good again. I've been a big Joey McGuire truther, and they were really good this year.
yes, you have.
They went 8-5 this year, I think.
Something like that.
Great first year, by the way. And so they'll be solid again. And then West Virginia, who the hell cares? Being honest, right? Like legitimately, Texas is the favorite. So if they will be the favorite going in this year, and if they regress to 7-5, Sark should be gone. Actually, I'm not going to say that. I don't want to see Sark gone because I am a believer in giving the coach time. But I know how fickle Texas fans are. And if Sark goes 6-6, 7-5, they will want him gone.
If he may not be gone, but if he has a 7-5 season, he will be on an extreme hot seat, and it will be very. if he gets his job, if his job is saved, if he goes 7-5, it'll be just on the just like that much of him getting fired.
I'm gonna put this back up because we did not need to see what was in the background.
What was in the background?
You walking by with your hand down your pants, loser.
Okay, first off, my hands are like this. If you want to try this again.
I mean, when you walk by, it looks like your hand was down your waistband, dude.
It's
like this. It's cold up here because my mom keeps the house cold.
You're not helping your case, dude.
Keep going.
But like I said, if Texas goes into the year as the favorite in the Big 12, like we're expecting it to be, and if Sark takes a step back, he will be on the hot seat. If not, Texas boosters calling for his head.
Yeah, I don't disagree.
And if he gets off to a bad season the next year, he will be gone within
halfway through. Yeah, 100%.
Yeah,
because guess what? You got Gary Patterson, right? Waiting.
Oh my gosh.
I know we got Gary Patterson.
And that is gone.
They'll either hire Gary Patterson or they're going to go headhunting for somebody else. Because we know how Texas boosters like big names and flashy hires.
Gary Patterson's a big name.
Yeah,
I don't disagree. It's going to be him or somebody else. It's another flashy big name. Imagine Cliff Kingsbury, Texas head coach.
Oh, no.
No.
That'd be fantastic.
No.
But enough on this talk. We'll talk more when we get closer. There's one last thing I wanted to cover since we're going on an hour 15 already. Goodness. I've got a situation that does not pertain to football, and I want to talk about it because somebody talked a big game the last couple weeks. It wasn't me, but we've got a story to tell.
Wasn't me. I wasn't here.
And it's Big 12 SEC Challenge, college basketball. Someone's been talking a big game about Arkansas basketball.
Oh my gosh. This guy over here is the biggest Arkansas basketball homer year in and year out. And it's like,
don't mind. You're supposed to fight. No.
Oh, yeah. No. You are the big. That's the one thing. I love you, bro. Like, literally, like my own brother. That is the one thing about you. Arkansas basketball this, Arkansas basketball that. Where the fuck are you? You're not even top 25 anymore. Not even, dude.
Yeah,
no.
That's how it's been the last 2 years.
You are straight up delusional, thinking your team has remotely, I could name 5 teams that have a better chance at winning the NCAA tournament over Arkansas.
Okay, but all it takes is one game.
You've been saying that since when? For how long?
I told you this at the beginning of the season.
You told me that this was your year at the beginning of the year.
Yeah, we also had injuries, but
so does everyone else.
At the beginning of the season, I don't care if we have a stretch like we have had. I still have faith in what the coaching staff has been able to do the last 2 years. This is extremely reminiscent of what the last 2 years has been. And in the last 2 years, we have gone to an Elite Eight with a team that is not as talented as it is this year. This is a far more talented team than we've ever had at Arkansas and Arizona. So at the moment, we're still in the tournament. Until I see that we are not in the tournament come March, I still have faith that this team can make a deep run.
So now that that's out,
disappointment is in your near future, my man.
So
again,
now that that's come out, I've got to say it.
As long as we make the Sweet 16 or Elite 8, I'm fine.
I've got to say it. Big 12 basketball is what football thinks it is.
Agree about that.
Because I'm torn now. I'm legitimately torn now. Because I've gone all year thinking OU basketball is a bad team. They're not a good team, by the way. I was looking at, I saw this statistical graph, and it was comparing the team's tendency of going on big runs, scoring runs, versus their opponent's tendency to go on big scoring runs. And OU was at the bottom of both. So basically, they don't go on scoring runs, and they don't allow other teams to go on scoring runs. So it's just slow, boring basketball, which basically defines Porter Moser. So yeah, there's that. But you get number 2 Alabama rocket up into Norman. I'm not very, very positive, and they get 30-pieced in Norman. Blew everybody away. What the hell is going on? But by and large, the Big 12 had a good showing, right? I mean, Texas, they lost by 11 to Tennessee. Okay. Rick Barnes got his revenge. K-State beat on Florida. Kansas beat Kentucky. Mississippi State did beat TCU. That's a really good win. Missouri beat Iowa State. Okay, whatever. West Virginia beat Auburn. That was a really, really good win. Baylor beat Arkansas. Texas Tech beat LSU. And Oklahoma State beat on Ole Miss. So it was fun. Big 12. Good luck. I remember when we were looking at this, I was looking at this chart a few weeks ago, and it was ranking the hardest schedules remaining in college basketball. The top 10 hardest schedules was just the Big 12.
Oh, nice.
It was literally all 10 Big 12 teams in order.
Nice.
And I think Oklahoma was like number 2, unfortunately for me. So yeah. I was telling Chris earlier. Oklahoma has Oklahoma State tomorrow night, and then West Virginia over the weekend. If we win these, I like our chances for the tournament. If we lose one or both, yikes.
Yeah.
Say Joe Lunardi's in bubbles a hell of a drug.
Yeah, I was basically saying the same thing about Arkansas. We just beat A&M. We have South Carolina coming up, which isn't great, and then we have Kentucky on the road in Rupp.
I was also going to say, I just saw on Twitter, Bama beat Vanderbilt tonight in basketball, 101-44. Sorry, Vanderbilt.
I saw that.
Sorry.
They took their frustrations out
collateral
on
damage.
Vanderbilt.
But I think that's going to be really fun to follow the rest of the season, college basketball wise, because the SEC is clearly really good. It's really apparent to me that the Big 12 is just that much better, and super, super deep as well. So, I mean, I think I saw it was like half of the Big 12 is in the top 10 or top 15.
Yeah, it's ridiculous. Let's look real quick, shall we?
I can pull it up. Standings.
So we got Kansas State, Kansas, Texas, Baylor, Iowa State, TCU.
So I'm looking at the week rankings. You've got K-State 7, Kansas 8, Texas 9, K-State 7, Kansas 8, Texas 10, Baylor 11, Iowa State 13, TCU 15. That's 1,
at the moment,
4, 5, 6 out of the 10 teams in the top 15.
Also, I'd like to add at the moment, Joe Lunardi has 8 Big 12 teams in the tournament.
Who's left out right now? Oklahoma State.
Oklahoma.
And what's funny is that so Oklahoma State is on the out looking in. They're the first 4 out, so they'll be in the NIT. And then who's the other team? Who? Let's see.
What? No. So the teams that are not in it right now are Oklahoma State, Oklahoma, West Virginia, and Texas Tech.
No, it's Oklahoma's in it.
Oh, that's right.
West Virginia's in it.
I'm looking at the Big 12 rankings. It would probably be, I guess, Texas Tech. They're the worst team in the Big 12 this year.
Okay, so Oklahoma State and Texas Tech. And only one of them will not make a tournament at all. And
that has to tell you something. The worst team in the Big 12 is 12-10.
Yeah.
That is absolutely
And, like,
obscene.
the second worst team is going to be a top seed in the NIT. Not that the NIT matters, but
And so look how tight the top of the Big 12 is. You've got 18-4, 18-4, 18-4, 16-5, 16-6, 15-6. And then you've got 12-9, 12-9, 13-8.
So James, what I'm hearing you say is that not only in football are we going to help, but in basketball we're going to help legitimize even more the SEC, our two schools.
what happens?
I mean, it won't hurt.
No,
That's for sure. Will we run the conference? No.
no.
I'll let Kentucky and other people do that. But is it going to hurt it? Hell no. Is it going to help it? Probably. I'm not going to pretend like Oklahoma's been some basketball school for so long. Like let's be honest, right? The teams in the Big 12 that have traditionally carried Big 12 basketball are Kansas, Baylor, and Texas Tech. Let's just keep it what it is. Or at least that's what it's been in the last decade or two. Basically,
Yeah, you might have.
basically since Kevin Durant left Texas.
Yeah.
Mhm.
So that'll be fun. I look forward to that. We'll talk about March when March comes around. All right, guys, we've been going on about an hour and a half.
Anybody have a
final
rant?
shots?
I do. I've got a rant.
What's your parting shot?
My parting shot would be for our fantastic general manager named Jerry Jones to actually do something this offseason. And what I would like to see happen, as much as I thank him for his service, as much as I appreciate everything he's done, it is time to move on from Zeke, get him off of our roster, use that money to pay Tony Pollard. And then, as unbiased as this is, if he is available, because that means we will only have Tony Pollard and Malik Davis, we need to draft, if he's available, Robinson. And if not him, defensive line. If not that, secondary.
Yeah, Jerry Jones would draft another project at running back. He'll draft another project somewhere, and then he won't probably do anything for the free agency, and
Probably
then he'll
not.
complain whenever we don't do anything.
And he needs to freaking do something this offseason. And then, last but not least, Dak's job is on the line next season.
It is.
100%. And that's my 2 cents. He either gets it together mentally or won't be any room for him on this team anymore.
I'm hoping whoever gets hired as OC will fit his style as a quarterback
Sure.
and meld well. Utilize him consistently. But I agree because let's be honest, Dak was like, in the NFC at least, he was like the oldest quarterback in the playoffs, and minus Tom Brady, and did not perform to the highest standard.
Look, the least experienced.
Yeah, I saw that. I saw this comparison the other day, and it was comparing Dak Prescott's stats to Joe Burrow's.
Oh,
And
no.
stats wise, it's actually really, really comparable. When you think about it, Joe Burrow's been in the league 3 years, right? Because the first year he got injured.
Sure.
3 years. He has more playoff games than Dak Prescott has in 7 years. And the stats are comparable, though. So that says two things. One, the Cowboys need to play more fucking playoff games. But also, two, Joe Burrow hasn't exactly, well, it also means Dak Prescott's underperforming in the playoff games. Because if their stats are similar across Joe Burrow's 7 games, well, I say this. The team as a whole for the Bengals have been better. But if Joe Burrow's stats are comparable to Dak Prescott's in almost the same amount of games, regardless of the amount of years, they've both been relatively underperforming. But that means Joe Burrow hasn't exactly lived up to the entire potential in the playoffs.
But the other thing is that Joe Burrow is not putting his team in a position to lose games like Prescott did in this past playoff.
Fair.
I'm not talking about past playoffs, but this specific playoffs, he didn't put them in any.
I'm gonna throw out an analogy or comparison. Tell me your thoughts. Dak Prescott is to football as Russell Westbrook is to basketball.
No.
In the sense that
No.
both players, hear me out. In the sense that both players can single-handedly win you a game and also single-handedly lose you a game.
Okay.
We've seen it countless times where Russell Westbrook has put up 40 and won a game for the team. We've also seen it where he's single-handedly fouled out and caused so much ruckus, he's been a distraction to his team.
I can see because they're
let me finish this and I'll let you run. With Dak Prescott, we saw it 2 weeks in a row. Against Tampa Bay, he had a nearly perfect game. It would have been really, really hard to play any better against Tampa Bay. Then the very next week, he threw 2 picks he definitely should not have, and was tunnel vision to the point where he was missing wide open receivers and pissed us all off. Okay, have fun.
I can see it as well. The attitudes are different, obviously, but you got two guys that aren't as. Both of them have mechanics that are completely off in their game. I mean, Russell Westbrook tries to shoot too much and he can't. One second he looks really good, and when he's driving the lane and making plays, and other times he's driving the lane and throwing it to nobody and causing turnovers, and he's like 3 of 10 from the field, or not 3 of 10, but he's not shooting as much as he should. So there are very inconsistencies, but that's more Russell Westbrook towards the end of his career. We're talking about Dak in his 7th year. I mean, I guess it is.
Russell Westbrook's done it. Russell Westbrook's
done it.
He's done it all the time. He did it in OKC all the damn time. And I mean, you just think of it. The highest highs for both players are all-stars, all-pros, whatever you want to call them. The lows are the same. You're causing problems, you're costing your team games, and it's not fun to watch.
And at this point, it's a popularity contest. He's won an MVP. He won at least one.
Has Russell Westbrook won an MVP?
I'm fairly confident.
I didn't think he did.
Uh,
I didn't think he did. But anyway, that's just I could see it, but that's kind of my 2 cents.
Hold on.
I wish we had a competent GM that could do something.
Yeah, he did it in the 2016, 2017 season.
2017. Yep. He averaged a triple that year.
But he kind of had to do that.
I mean, think of it. Compare that year to Dak's first year when he was Rookie of the Year and probably the best quarterback in the NFC.
True.
Okay.
And then hasn't done anything since. Literally.
Yeah, both of their careers kind of just. I can see it from that standpoint. From other standpoints, I can't. But from the standpoint of them looking good one game and then just completely different the other game, I can't see it. But it's 2 different things. I think one is just Russell Westbrook's style of play is just so hectic and so just disorganized that whenever he does stuff, he's prone to probably turnovers. Where Dak Prescott is just he's got a mentality issue where he's inferior when he goes plays other teams.
He can't play in a big game. He freezes. When he freezes, he overthinks things. He has tunnel vision. I mean, I don't want to go down this rabbit trail because we're pushing an hour and a half. But that's my 2 cents. Is
when he's comfortable in the pocket, when there's a clean pocket, he can make you pay, and he's very confident. But whenever he's got guys coming in his face, when he's got guys trying to get to him and stuff like that, he just makes bad decisions. So I guess both of them, it's a mentality issue.
This is really what puzzles me because we've seen the times when Dak has gone mobile, and he's really, really good. Like that touchdown throw against Tampa Bay where he has to roll out to the left and buy time, and he waits until Schultz breaks open and he throws a touchdown. Like that was awesome. Yeah. But for some reason, he can't do that every week. What the hell's going on?
It's a
I can't recall. I think the only time I saw him do this.
Hold on, Chris. Hold on. That was agreed, dude.
nice
Why he can't do that week after week? I don't know. I don't know. I saw one thing, and I was reading an article, and I was trying to find it. Was on Kellen Moore, and part of it, somebody was saying that Kellen Moore is like too young for Prescott to learn and develop from. But I don't know how much I agree and disagree with that. But something is missing between.
I mean, Kellen Moore's like what, 2 or 3 years older than Dak?
It's not much. They're almost the same age.
Hey Siri,
But
how old is Kellen Moore?
Kellen Moore was 34 years old.
He's 34, and Dak's 29 or 30. So
yeah, so it's not much. So it was interesting. I think there might, because of age, be like some block, but somewhere along the way, like the interplay is missing, and he can't. He went from being one of the most competent quarterback in the leagues to being one of the most incompetent quarterback in the leagues and inconsistent quarterback in the leagues. So I don't know. I guess a new OC will definitely help. We'll see if it.
Yeah, he is very good at doing that, and you know, you look at this 49ers game. I think he only did that once whenever they were trying to drive and it wasn't even working. But yeah, he is. He I don't know why they go away from that, because that's when he's the best, and for as good as he can be. But
see, that's the thing. I don't know if they go away from it or if it's they tell him to do it, and he has this mental block where he just goes and then does something else.
But nevertheless, I mean, he's got 16 more games, 17 more games, plus whatever playoff games we have, to try and figure this out. Otherwise, we're going into a different direction, and his career as a starting quarterback.
Well, we'll see.
Cowboys will be over.
We'll see if they go in a different direction.
Breaking news. The new offensive coordinator has been hired in Miami.
Oh, I thought you were about to say here. I was like, what? Who's
Scott
the OC
Frost.
in Miami? What?
Scott Frost?
Frost?
Miami.
Oh, okay.
That's
interesting.
See if they pay. Yeah,
That's a lot of fun. But that's the discussion for another day. Appreciate everybody for listening. This was a long one. It felt good to have all three people back again.
It did.
But any other closing statements before I wrap this bad boy up?
Cowboys for life.
Sucks. And yeah, I got
Go
nothing else.
Chiefs. Go Chiefs.
EAG.
Yeah, I'll say the same thing.
Yes, Eagles.
You did not just say that. You did not just say that.
EAGIRLS Eagles.
Cry.
He did not. He
Freaking
did.
win. I didn't say I wanted them to win.
On the road to misery.
I hope it's misery. It's either that or I'm going to be miserable.
Die, Eagles, die. We'll see you when we see you. Deuces.
James, can I ask you a solid?
Hold on.